Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Battletech. Right now we're sitting here in orbit of Detroit, and we're about to kick off one of my favorite sets of missions in this game, so let's just get to it. See what Darius has got for us. Have to travel to Bellerophon. We're currently in orbit of Detroit, and we are just going to go for it.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Let's get out of here. Now, while I'm actually thinking about this, let's take a real quick look, double check on our mechs, make sure we don't have anything that needs to be fixed while we're in travel. Griffin, Vindicator, Shadowhawk, Spider, everything looks to be in order. Vindicator, PPC, Small Laser, LRM Rack, yeah. Shadowhawk, It's got the SRM-6 and the SRM-2 and the AC-5. And we'll leave that as is, and the Spider with its 2 lasers. So that's all fine. Take a quick look at our mech warriors, and let's see here. Not enough.
Commander?
Well,
Standing by.
and +1 health. That's actually fairly important.
Mech warrior training.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now with the way LRMs and some other things work, even a machine gun bullet to the cockpit is enough to injure your mech warrior, so you're definitely going to want to pick up some extra guts for them just to make sure that they don't immediately, you're not putting them in danger of being killed quite easily. So let's take a look here. Tactics, sensor lock, we don't really need to go sensor lock. As far as builds go, I really prefer to, because you can only take 2 of these skills in this first level, and then you can only take 1 of these skills in the last level. From one of the ones that you took before. So, for instance, I can take both of these in gunnery and 1 in guts, or I can take 2 in guts, 1 in gunnery, or 2 piloting and 1 in tactics. You get the idea. And honestly, I think that bulwark is much better than your other options. Evasive, this one isn't too bad if you're driving a small mech. It's not. This one's not too bad in general. But in some of the later missions, you have so many enemies coming against you that it really winds up not mattering. You're just going to get shot at so much, you're going to lose all your evasion pips no matter what you do.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Commander.
And Behemoth, no, we're good. All right, so back to the trip. So what is today's lore going to be talking about? Well, I wanted to talk about heat. One of the primary resources you have to manage in mech combat. And heat it's omnipresent. You literally can't do anything up to, including just walking, is going to generate heat. And the transition between the tabletop and the game, they made a lot of modifications to handle inside the computer game. And we'll get talking about those in a second, because right after this cutscene, we're going to go straight into the financials. Always the most exciting part of any business. Now, the one problem we're running into is we're starting to get a little low on cash. We only got 615 grand in the bank, which is only enough to get us through 2 more months, but we'll be fine. Yeah, we're going to just keep everything the way it is. And this is very easy to forget, but you need to make sure that you unpause the game. So heat. The tabletop, no, we'll talk about the tabletop in a minute, but in general, heat is something that we'll get into after this. Benefactor in orbit, Bellerophon. Anna Maria Cintrella. Mr. Lavera, thanks for honoring my request to meet. I am Anna Maria Cintrella. You've heard of my family, I am sure. Lady Cintrella, this is a surprise. I wouldn't expect a member of the Canopian royal family to even know who we are, let alone approach us in such a non-traditional manner. This isn't a traditional contract, and I don't need Comstar asking questions. Besides, there's no reason to involve the Mercenary Review Board. I already know that I want to hire you. Have I piqued your interest, Commander, son? Certainly, Lady Cintrella, we wouldn't be here if you hadn't. I'm pleased to hear it. The job that I have for you is a relatively simple one. I need you to recover something for me, and I need it done quietly. In exchange for your services, I'll pay down the interest on your rather sizable loans and buy you the breathing room you've been looking for. How do you know about... You know what? It doesn't matter. Just tell us what we're supposed to be recovering. This. Lady Centrale's image is replaced on the screen by a grainy photograph of an enormous grounded dropship. Ramshackle structures cling to it like barnacles. That does not look like the way it was supposed to land. She's a derelict vessel, an Argo. One of only 2 ever made. For over 200 years, she's been lying in state on Axilus, a pirate moon in the heart of the frontier. I want her, and you are going to bring her to me. Yeah, and how exactly are we supposed to do that? I mean, that's a big ship, and she looks half cannibalized for parts. Look, you can see her ribs in the photo. I'm as enthusiastic about money as the next guy, but I'm a mech tech, not an aerospace engineer. I'll be damned if I can get that thing flying again. Relax, Mr. Vertanen? Yeah, we'll go with Vertanen. Relax, Mr. Vertanen. I have an engineering staff on hand to attend to the Argo. Their leader, Dr. Farah Murad, has built quite a reputation for herself on the frontier. You'll find a jump ship waiting for you at Alloway. It will carry you to the pirate moon, where you'll clear a path to the crash site. Dr. Murad and her team will go to work on the derelict, and you will protect them until the work is done. This should be all well within your capabilities, Commander Sun, unless I have come to the wrong company, of course. Background, Frontier Pirate. I know pirates better than most. You won't find anyone better suited to this job than us. Then I see no reason why you shouldn't accept my offer. Do the job well enough, and there'll be more work waiting for you upon your return. Mr. Oliveira, you'll never find a better opportunity than the one I'm offering. Commander Sun, I can promise you that. She isn't wrong, Raiden. We were looking for a lifeline, and this is as close as we're going to get. We can handle anything you can throw at us, Lady Centrale, and I aim to prove that to you on Axilus. Very good. I'll forward your contract to Mr. Oliveira. One last thing, Commander Sun. The stories of your unsavory past are well known within the magistracy. I'm taking a risk on hiring you on, but I'm convinced that I'm making the right call. Don't prove me wrong. The contract for Lady Centrale's derelict recovery job is ready for review in the command center. You should follow up when you think we're ready. Well, I think I'm ready right now. Alright, Axilus. Another 18 days in space. Another 18 days paying the bills. But here's the kicker. This thing is worth 1.15 million sea bills on completion. And it's got good wreckage, good salvage. And it's a priority mission. Now, this is common with all the priority missions. They all pay extremely well. So, if you're ever running low on cash, doing the priority missions is not a bad idea. So anyways, heat. On the tabletop, there are a few very hard-coded events as your heat rises. But, I'm going out of this all out of order. Oh, extension. Banging noises draw you to the shared mech warrior barracks, where you find Behemoth disassembling one of the leopard's internal walls. There are already several panels laying neatly stacked beside her. She pauses, then explains. There's a few cubic meters of dead space back here. I'm making room so we can stretch without hitting the bunks. As reasonable as this sounds, the banks aren't going to like you modifying their property. Order Behemoth to put it back where it was. Make the changes easily reversible. Set aside the money to pay the fine because, hey, it's going to be our ship soon anyways. You look Behemoth in the eye. You know how the chain of command works. You have to clear changes with me before you start. She shrugs. Well, can I? You look over Behemoth's work. It's cleanly done with no hazards. Take a break until I make a decision. During a chat with Darius, you compare the cost of the fines to the benefit for the mech warriors, and you decide it's worth it. It costs a little bit of money and increases our morale. And morale is important because morale is what you start each mission with, and that gives you a lot of tactical flexibility. Okay, so let's get this straightened out. Where does heat come from? Now, a lot of people I've heard watching playthroughs of the game, think that what's causing heat is the actual lasers and PPCs themselves, and that's not true. What actually is causing almost all the heat whenever your mech is in operation is the Battletech's fusion reactor itself. In order to give the energy necessary to get those lasers and PPCs and everything firing, the fusion engine has to ramp up big time to produce the power, and they just simply don't provide enough shielding on the reactor to handle that kind of heat output, and so that's where a lot of the heat comes from. Now, in the case of guns and missiles, yeah, that's mostly from the actual firing itself, But for high heat things like weapons, energy weapons, it's the mechs reactor. We've arrived at Alloy, Commander. Ready to proceed with your current contract? Let's get to it. Commander, I'm setting a course for Lady Centrella's jump ship. It's strange, though. This moon is taking us to Axillis. It doesn't appear on any of my maps, which leads me to wonder, where exactly are we going, and how do they intend to get us there? Several hours later, uncharted space. That was a hell of a rough ride. My stomach is still doing somersaults. That's because those crazy people used a pirate point to get us here. If we'd suffered a misjump, your sour stomach would be the least of our concerns. The leopard could have been irreparably mangled. Hell, we could have been irreparably mangled. The cautionary holovids they showed us at the Academy were the stuff of nightmares. Because when you jump, it actually twists space. So yeah, if you don't do it properly, it can literally twist you inside out. And pirate jump points are non-standard jump points that exist within a system's proximity limit. The proximity limit being how close you can get to a star and have your jump drive still work. You normally have to be, I want to say it's like anywhere from like 5 to 20 astronomical units away from the star before your jump drive can start working. But in this case, a pirate point will actually take you inside, and this is usually because of the interaction of the gravitational fields of the various moons and planets can create momentary points where the gravitational forces are equaled out enough that a jump ship can manage to jump into that spot. And that allows a jump ship to get in much, much closer to a planet, which is usually useful for like if you're trying to make a raid, so that you can jump in and have your drop ships away within a matter of minutes and be landing on your target within minutes or even a few hours, unlike a week or more that it might take from a normal jump point. But they are incredibly dangerous and very likely to get you killed if you do them wrong. Alright, back to the game. When exactly did you realize that Centrella's jump ship crew was planning on doing? Well, when exactly did you realize what Centrella's jump ship crew was planning on doing? I'm sure we're fine. As we were on our approach to dock with the jump ship, it was way out of position to use any legitimate jump point. Putting two and two together, I could guess what they were going to do. Here's the million Seabill question, Mayor. Why didn't you say anything about this before we jumped? Because it wouldn't have mattered if I had. We couldn't afford to turn down this job. Given the situation, I figured ignorance was probably bliss. Oh, great. We'll talk about this later, Meyer. But for now, what's done is done. We're here, and there's money to be made. Let's focus on the task at hand. The Argo's crash site is here, smack dab in the middle of a pirate stronghold. The ship, the stronghold, and everything around it belong to the self-styled bandit queen called Grim Sybil. Her gang is the closest thing Axillis has to a ruling council. Grim Sybil? Is that supposed to be scary? Sounds like the kind of name you'd choose out of a hat. What do their defenses look like? They're patchy at best. I don't think Axillis gets a lot of visitors. They have some strong anti-air cover, but little in the way of ground-based defenses. I'm seeing a lot of vehicles, but battle mech activity looks light. Define light battle mech activity. Yeah, this is a problem with Darius. This guy is just completely blind, and we'll see that on later missions. What do you call you light? Well, I can't put an exact number on it. All I have are surface scans to go on, but from what data I do have, I expect the pirates to be able to field a full lance of light battle mechs, all of them in poor repair. There are mixed reports of something bigger. That'll be Grim Sybil's mech. I don't have any information on tonnage or armament, but given the shape of everything else we've seen on Axillis, I'd imagine it's being held together with chewing gum and baling wire. What else do you have on Grim Sybil? Before today, I'd never heard of her. Yeah, I hadn't either. Centrella's intel says that Grim Sybil stays put mostly on Axillis, but she's got at least a dozen pirate gangs operating under her banner, so she must have something going for her. Sybil's bio is pretty sparse. There isn't a lot of meat here. Just a note that she came up under Lady Paula Trevelyan, the pirate queen of the Tortuga Dominions. I guess that's impressive, having a personal connection to Lady Death and all. Lady Death? Really? I swear these pirate names are killing me. Background Frontier. You don't know the half of it, Yang. Spend a few years hanging out with my old friends, and believe me, you'll hear worse. One of these days, you're going to have to tell me more about your past, boss. Actually, check that. I'm not sure I want to know. Darius, is there anything else worth mentioning in that file, or can we get back to talking about the mission? Well, it looks like Trevelyan and Sybil had a falling out. That's narrow. Oh, wow, I cannot read today. That's not terribly surprising given the quiet pirate... Oh my gosh. Alright. Professional YouTuber. Well, it looks like Trevelyan and Sybil had a falling out. That's not terribly surprising given the Pirate Queen's track record. Sybil managed to survive somehow. Good on her. And she's been living on Exilus ever since. So the pirates have vehicles and turrets, maybe a few battle mechs. Got it. Keep going. The entire structure is surrounded by radar-guided anti-aircraft guns. Your first task will be to take down the radar towers so that Sumire can approach the derelict. After you've secured the crash site, we'll dock with the Argo and drop off the engineering team. And then they'll miraculously get a 200-year-old wreck flying again. Lady Centrella has bet a massive stack of Sea-Bills if they will. For what it's worth, I believe their chief engineer can pull this off. I've never heard of Dr. Farah Murad before, but Lady Centrella mentioned her. But I did some digging after our meeting. She was telling the truth. Dadak has quite a reputation. Supposed to be some kind of frontier engineering wunderkind, and a genius at bringing dead ships back to life. I guess we'll find out, won't we? For better or worse, yes we will. I'll leave it to you, Brayden. Good hunting on the moon surface, and I'll keep an eye out for you from up here. Aw, thanks, Darius. Alright, let's see here. We're going to take the Griffin, the Shadowhawk, the Minotaur, and the Spider, because we don't exactly have a lot of options, and everybody looks good in what they're in, so let's rock and roll. Alright, so here we go.
Command interface initiated.
Beautiful. Alright.
Good to go.
Let's take a look here and see if we can't get people. Let's get oriented. First off, up here is the first of the radar towers we have to destroy along with the turret generator. And over here is the second radar tower and another turret generator. And those turret generators are pretty much a waste of time. And the reason is, and this is kind of one of the downsides of the game right now, there's no real indication as to what generator powers what turrets. And I'll tell you this, those generators don't power what you think they're powering. There are a couple of turrets nearby that are not actually powered by those generators, that are apparently powered by hopes and dreams. So even if you do go in there and blow those turret generators up, you're still going to have turrets shooting at you, which seems kind of not what's supposed to happen when you destroy the generators. And getting better information about what generators power what turrets would be a good improvement for the game, as well as just having turrets actually powered by the generators they're near. But whatever. At this point, I've played this mission. This will be the third time through, so I pretty much know which one of these. I know a few of the tricks that really can be aggravating when you haven't played the game through. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to move up, but not all the way to reveal the turrets, because I don't want my people getting strung out. Right now we're fighting on an airless moon, and speaking of heat generation, right here, fighting on a lunar biome, your heat sinks are only working at 65% efficiency, which is a very big problem for mechs like my Griffin that rely entirely on fairly high heat weaponry. So managing heat is going to be a major pain for this particular on this particular mission.
Orders.
Alright, move Behemoth up. Nobody's going to trigger those, get in visual range of those turrets just yet. We'll do that next turn. Alright, we'll brace up. So heat sinks operating at reduced efficiency. Not there. Yeah, heat sinks are sort of a placeholder for just the many different ways you can actually get rid of waste heat. Be it through convection, which is just essentially blowing hot air over, or cool air over a heat sink, or radiation, which is actually incredibly inefficient, or conduction, which would be, for instance, transmitting heat through the feet of the battle mech into the ground. Alright, we're going to move up and we're going to start engaging here. There's someplace I can go that's not... Yeah, there we go. I don't want to get into a fight with too many turrets at once.
Wake up, you idiots! We've got company!
But they're driving giant battle mechs. We can't fight against them.
Any more objections? Good. Get out there and fight!
Oh, that's unfortunate. So close to taking that turret out.
Standing by.
Oh, well, we'll let Behemoth take care of it. looks... There we go.
Aye, aye.
That other enemy turret is a laser turret, so they don't actually have the range to engage these guys. So I'll be able to take these guys out. Oh, look at that. 11 points of damage off of finishing them off. So we're actually going to drop the SRMs out. There we go. At this point in the game, the pilots haven't gotten their skills up enough, and so you really do need to usually put in a little extra just for insurance to make sure that you get the kill.
Commander.
Alright, we're going to move Glitch up.
You betcha.
And up here in the distance, there is a point where there is a turret that is powered by this turret generator. So we're going to see if we can't kill it. 100. No, we're not going to be able to kill it, but we can do most of the damage to it. There we go. Oh, and a little collateral damage. Alright, we're going to run Medusa up. And he should have range to finish off that generator. Alright. Or... yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not it. Oh, he only has line of sight to the radar station. Oh well.
Firing on target.
No. Might as well take the shot. Alright. So the enemy turn, we now have some vehicles in the distance who are mulling around. Ow, shoot. LRMs. Ow. You feel every hit a spider takes because spiders just don't have any armor. Alright, got an unknown vehicle. Getting close. It looks like this batch is coming around the backside. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to split our attention, and these guys are coming pretty quickly. Oh, and it's a striker. And everybody wants to shoot at Medusa.
Good to go.
Alright, so what we're going to do, can Medusa make it? Oh, he can make it.
Here we go.
Whew, gotta love light mechs. Gonna finish off the generator.
Affirmative.
There we go. Which,
Target destroyed.
just what I'm talking about. It'll blow up. Come on. Yes, it's very pretty, and it's very wrecked. As you can see, there's that smoke rising over there. That is a dead turret off to the right. Unfortunately, come on. That turret is still in operation, so that generator controlled this turret that you had to kill just to get to it, and this turret back over here. So, yeah, alright. Yeah, I'm going to move up and have these guys... No, I don't think I want to split up. I want to go ahead and go get on these vehicles. So we're going to have Salamander run over here. So yes, right now, since we're on an airless moon, we're not able to do any real convection, which is the main way that you can get rid of heat. And as a consequence, it really slows us down. Now, this striker only has 45 armor and 3 structure, so if we can hit him with the PPC, it'll instant kill. There we go.
Enemy unit destroyed.
I want to try to be very careful because it is extremely easy to overheat right now. And apparently that striker was pretty adventurous because these other guys are just not moving up.
Receiving you.
So what we're going to do is, Glitch is going to get, Alright, we're going to move Glitch over here so that she can engage the radar station. The Vindicator in universe is one of the kind of a backbone unit of a lot of... Did she completely mess with the PPC? Holy cow.
Commander.
Yeah, I've actually got another campaign going, and I'm getting pretty close to the end. And I'm used to having pilots that are extremely experienced, extremely advanced, and as a consequence, it's hard for them to miss. So coming back and playing the start of the campaign where everybody misses all the time, it's a little bit difficult to get used to it. Let's see, is he going to come all the way up? Yep. Oh, it's a bulldog. Ow. Oof. SRM launcher. SRM and large laser.
Bad.
Alright. These guys are not pushing up very fast, so I think I'm going to... Where are we at with this guy? No, he can't bring the tower down. What can we do with him? No, I'm going to have him focus on taking the radar tower down. There we go.
Taking the shot.
He missed. Holy cow. Okay. Alright, alright. Yeah, these guys are just not getting very excited about it. So, we're going to shift. And we're going to take these guys out over here. We're going to take this turret and the striker out. Rather than standing waiting for those guys to get their butts in gear. I'm sorry, the bulldog. Let's see here. What's the bulldog got? 45 and 22, which means he is actually too tough to be taken out with one PPC shot. And I will seriously overheat. And this is a long mission, so you don't want to start overheating right off the bat. Yeah, we're probably just going to have to stick to the LRM launcher, soften them up. That'll do a pretty good job, and now we can bring in one of the other mechs to finish them off. Because we really don't want to give that bulldog another chance to fire. That large laser is nasty. Scorpion's not too bad.
Waiting for orders.
Run them up here.
Moving to position.
Get Behemoth over here. The Shadowhawk is a pretty solid mech that you can get a lot of good use out of it. Because of the hard points, it's got a lot of flexibility. Right now I'm running a pair of missile launchers and the autocannon. She's more set up for close range fights. Let's see here. Oh yeah, she can take them out. But I'm going to throw in the big SRM launcher just to be safe. I do not want to give him another chance. There we go. Whew. Made me nervous. I thought we were not going to finish him off.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, we'll run glitch.
Got it.
Get her up here and get her working on that turret. That is a light laser turret, so he's only got 2 medium lasers, so he's not that dangerous. We might, let's see, 90, that's 60, and that's 85. And provided we get lucky with the LRM launcher, we might be able to take him out. No. Of course not. Alright, we really do need to take these vehicles out because we're not going to be able to proceed to the next part of the mission until we do. Yep. Ow. See, right now that turret is giving line of sight to my people so they can get engaged by the vehicles for indirect fire. So if I can take this guy out, they'll lose their eyes.
Yeah.
Alright, Medusa. Stop. Wow, 55, which means he can't finish it off. Oof. Alright. This is actually the most trouble taking this radar tower out I've had. This is the most trouble I've had taking it out so far. Alright.
Ready for orders.
We're going to start off with glitch. And he's down to two structure. So we'll shut the PPC off and we won't even fire the laser. We'll just use the LRMs. Just need one to hit. There we go.
That's a kill.
So turret's cleared out. Now the vehicles don't have line of sight. Well, until they drive around the corner and actually see us. Scorpion. Ouch. Again, with a long mission, you really want to minimize the damage you take early on. So we're going to come over here. Stay out of the sight for the other vehicle and just try to finish the Scorpion off. Alright, let's take a look here. Yep, PPC can do it. If he hits. Oh my gosh.
No damage detected.
Alright, well, you know what?
Yes,
Still got Behemoth, who is not going to be able to get line of sight. Well, nope, she can come over here. Trying to minimize the number of guys that get a chance to shoot back at us. Alright, so take the... No, we're going to leave the SRM launcher in there. Again, long missions, I'm kind of trying to be a little... Oh! Yep. First shot did the job.
One for the scrap heap.
Getting cocky about blowing up a ramshackle vehicle. Yeah, all these early vehicles and mechs and everything that you'll run into in the early part of the game are all... Oof! Ow. That was rough. in the early part, pretty much everybody
Waiting
has
for orders.
the ramshackle trait, which means that they are
Target.
rolling junk, more or less. And they don't have
Got
any...
half our damned radar cover. You'd better get those LRMs online now, or you can learn what a belly full of laser fire feels like.
Gotta imagine it hurts. So, what was I talking about? I honestly blanked out. Oh yeah, getting very cocky about blowing up the ramshackle. Ramshackle, that's what it was. Yeah, in the early going of the game, pretty much all of these vehicles have the ramshackle trait. So they've got very little of their full armor. For instance, these guys only carry half the normal armor. And since every location in here, you've only got about 48 damage to kill, 40, 48, and our melee does 70, and it has a 95% chance to hit, you are pretty much always better off with these early ground vehicles to just stomp them. There we go. Guaranteed kill, very likely to hit, and the good thing, gives me a full turn to cool down so that I stop cooking Salamander alive.
What's up, boss?
Alright, I don't want to get too close because the AC-5 has a minimum range, which you can see with this line. You got the darker area that's enclosed. This area is where I would have my minimum range problems. So I'm going to get just as close as I can without getting into minimum range issues. And target the Scorpion, who has 40. So basically, if I connect with the AC-5 anywhere, it's going to get a kill. So we'll just AC-5 in the medium launcher. There we go. Alright, solid kills. So, heat.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Now, as you can imagine,
Stand
if you're generating enough heat that it causes a problem
Roger
for something like a battle mech, then you're probably generating enough heat to cause problems for the actual pilot themselves as well. And you would be right.
Coordinates received.
And mech warriors, in order to stay cool... Oh, enemy contact. Yeah, there's that turret. Here's the turret generator, and that turret right there, directly above it, is not powered by that turret. So,
Roger.
I'm gonna jump Medusa over here, quick and easy. That turret is powered by the generator. Go figure. So the pilots, yeah. During the Star League, pilots would wear what was essentially like a flight suit. And that flight suit would be head to toe, and it would have all kinds of coolant tubes running through it to help keep the pilot cool. And somehow that became lost technology. Yeah, I don't quite get how sewing silicone tubing into a flight suit became lost technology, but yeah, it's officially a lost technology. And at this era, in the 3025 era, all these pilots would be wearing a cooling vest, which is pretty much what it says on the tin. It is a vest with a lot of larger coolant tubes sewn into it. It just covers the torso. That would be for trying to keep the mech warrior cool and not dying. Oh my gosh, gonna overheat. Oh, because I jumped. Anyways. And if you actually go by a lot of the books, a lot of these mech warriors would be piloting in their neuro helmets, their coolant vests, and pretty much just their underwear to try to deal with the heat, which could be pretty intense. Too far away for anything with AC-5. Which means that turret is down to about, what, 3 health? 3 structure?
Commander?
A pitifully
Moving
small
to
amount.
position.
So yeah, heat's a problem. Mech warriors would wear coolant vests to stay cool. Battle mechs have their heat sinks to try to keep them cool as well.
Right.
And just in general, it's one of the big, always listed as one of the big concerns. It's actually,
Target destroyed.
going by a lot of the old fluff, it actually gets hot enough in a battle mech's cockpit to kill somebody who doesn't have on a coolant vest. Don't want to get Medusa, yeah. But we can probably take that turret generator down before it becomes a problem, so we're going to go for it. So, when I first started playing on the tabletop, I think like a lot of people, I was overly worried about generating heat. Same thing in the game, and I would always my mechs that I use. There we go. My mechs would always have too many heat sinks. I'd have enough heat sinks that I could fire every single weapon and run or jump, and still have enough heat sinks to never build up any heat, which is not a good design. You kind of would think it's like, oh well, that would be, you know, a good idea to not generate heat.
Engaging target.
The problem with that is, for instance, a good example is a mech like, well, let's take a look at this Vindicator.
What's up,
Glitch's Vindicator has a PPC and an LRM-5. At long range, she's only going to be firing that PPC and LRM-5. So, it doesn't make any sense to... and she misses with that PPC. Fantastic. So it doesn't make sense to take enough heat sinks to also take care of all the heat from her medium laser and small laser? Not really.
Engaging target.
There we go.
Receiving you.
So, as a whole, it was very inefficient. And that was kind of the thing. It was always extremely inefficient to design your mechs that way. And it's extremely inefficient in the video game to do that as well. That's done it, Commander. The AA guns are down for now. Get to the crash site and secure the area. Will do. Alright. Now that I'm out of combat, everybody's able to move much quicker and farther. So I designed mechs that had way too many heat sinks. But over time, you kind of start to learn about what's called bracket firing. You know, the mech is designed, you got these weapons that you use at long range, and you have a certain groups of weapons you use at medium range, and certain groups use at short range. And then you think about, okay, well, where is my mech going to spend most of its time? Alright, this is the next mission area, but we won't activate anything until we cross this line. So what I'm going to do is get everybody in here.
Copy that.
I'm going to stack up before we go into that area and trigger the next event. But you learn about bracket firing, and then you decide, okay, well, where do I really need to stay cool? At long range, I can probably afford to run a little hot and occasionally drop weapons out of sequence.
Got it.
Rather than building up that heat. You know, it's going to be fine. But...
Affirmative.
And then you decide, okay, well, I'm going to generate the most heat at medium range, and that's where you design most of your heat sinks at. So, that was really kind of the deciding skill on the tabletop.
Digging in.
You'd see guys that would design their mechs, and then they'd be very careful about how they'd set their heat brackets up. And I mean, as easy as it might be to pilot a mech that never generates heat,
Right, Commander.
I copy.
It's easy, but the people that were better at designing mechs that were well bracketed and cooled based off that, those are the people that would... Where are we at? Alright. Move the camera around so I can see what I'm doing.
Got it.
Get everybody ready to go. Now, in the game, you definitely want to think about that. You want to operate on that same method. You want to design your mechs around brackets, and you don't need enough heat sinks to fire all your weapons. You just need enough heat sinks to fire weapons in the logical brackets. So, don't oversync your mechs. Don't take too many heat sinks. The crash site is secure. Sumier, you've got a clear approach path to the derelict. 2 steps ahead of you, XO. Watch yourself, Commander. I'm coming in hot. And she lands on the other side of the wreck. So, yeah, good job. Any day now, Sumier. Package is delivered, XO. I'm taking the Leopard to a safe distance before the pirate can get their guns running again. Roger that, Meyer. Dr. Murad, your team is cleared to enter the derelict. I hear you, Mr. Oliveira. We're making our way inside now.
All right, people, you know what to do. Marines, clear the ship of pirates.
With pleasure, Dr. Murad.
Oh, you know that guy's in trouble if he doesn't even get a character portrait. Alright, we got 1 mech, unknown mass. So, we're going to move Salamander up and get him line of sight on the target.
Enemy detected.
Alright, looks like we have a commando, a Jenner, and a Scorpion. Wow, that commando is a really bad shot. He fired off, what is that? 6, 8 short-range missiles and only connected with 2? Alright, we're going to run Medusa up here.
Location confirmed.
His evasion should keep him fairly safe. And 2 medium lasers is going to be very useful against these lightweight mechs. If he hits with them. Alright, that first shot went straight internal, which is good. This Jenner is very dangerous. 4 medium lasers and an SRM rack. Okay, wow, he completely missed with everything. Now the good news is he's going to start running pretty hot. Alright, yeah, there we go. I know that it looks like this is obstructed, but since there's not really an eyeball in the middle of the targeting track, that means it's not technically. This part, as far as the game is concerned, this bit isn't in the way. Now, I want to focus my fire and take out this commando. Let's see, he's only got... If I can actually hit any of the torso sections, it's going to peel the torso right off, and it'll core him in one shot with the PPC.
Engaging target.
Like that. Woo.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Beautiful. Yeah, one of the things you need to really remember when you're playing a game like this is you need to have everybody focus targets down. And the reason for that is, let's say I take a shot and everybody picks a different target and shoots at a different target.
Commander.
Well, you're going to do some damage, sure. But what's going to happen is that after everybody's done shooting, you're not going to take out any of the enemy battle mechs. They're pretty much also going to be standing, which means they're all going to be able to fire back at you, which means they're all going to be able to do damage to you. However, if you have all of your mechs focused down one enemy mech, that is one less mech the next time they can shoot back at you. So if you can focus your fire, you can start to whittle enemy numbers down very, very quickly, take less return fire, and be in an even better position to meet them in the next round. Alright. I could take the Scorpion's an 80% chance to hit, but so is the Jenner, but I can kill the Scorpion. I don't really want to let it get another shot with that autocannon.
Target acquired.
There we go.
Vehicle down.
Alright. This Jenner is going to be the next focused target, of course. We've still got another battle mech and another vehicle. Let's see, a galleon. So that's going to be, what, 2 medium lasers? 1 medium laser that he missed with. Not that I'm complaining.
Good to go.
Alright, we're going to have glitch. It may make sense to jump glitch.
Engaging jump jet.
Get her up closer. She's got a decent chance to hit this guy. And she can kill him. And she's only got an indirect line of sight to this Jenner, so yeah, we're going to try to kill this galleon. I'm going to lay off the LRM launcher. There we go.
Move her down.
And you can see over here that we've got pirate reinforcements. 3 out of the 7 have been killed.
The pirates have Alpha Squad pinned down in the Argo's main hallway. Bravo Squad is holding the door to engineering, but you better hurry up.
Sergeant? Talk to me.
That doesn't sound good.
Standing by.
Alright, we are going to... Let's see. We're going to run Medusa up here to get a shot of this Jenner. Also keep him from getting line of sight on the other enemy mech. Nice. Because I don't want to engage that. I don't want to give that other guy a chance to start shooting at us before I finish off this Jenner. Again, trying very hard to minimize the amount of fire that we take. But he's going to come around the corner and... Oh, it's a locust. That's...
Ow. I'm wounded.
Dang it. Now the good news is that short move the Jenner made means he does not have much evasion at all. So we're going to be able to hit him with pretty much everything we got and take him out in short order. Oh, dang it. Yep, see here I messed up. I got in too close. I've only got a 40% chance to hit with my PPC, although the LRMs are actually worse, so we're just going to take the shot.
Engaging target.
Oh, and get the hit. Took out his right leg. And anytime you destroy a leg, that's an automatic knockdown, an automatic pilot injury. So that is a very good thing, except that it can actually wind up giving the guy cover.
Commander?
Remove glitch first.
Affirmative.
Now, anytime you get somebody knocked down, you get a free called shot against them. So what we're actually going to try to do is, the percentage chance of hitting is low, but we're going to try to see if we can hit that leg.
Roger that.
Nah, missed. Because if you destroy both legs,
For another shot.
if you destroy both legs, you'll actually, oh, and I got an achievement. You had your chance. So
Good to go.
if you can destroy that other leg, that's a pretty decent salvage. You'll get 2 pieces of salvage on the mech. Alright, good example. That commando, we destroyed its center torso, so we're only going to get 1 piece of salvage. If we can take out both legs of this Jenner, we'll get 2 pieces of salvage. If you can kill the pilot without destroying the mech, you can get 3 pieces of salvage, and you need 3 pieces to assemble a mech. So if you kill the pilot, you can capture the mech or you can take the mech in its entirety. But I will settle for 2 because we're just going to alpha strike. I'll settle for 2. Oh! Yeah, dang it. She hit, but she hit the torso.
What's happening in there? Come in, Doctor.
A little busy. The pirates are dead. But so are half of my engineers. It's an unholy mess in here. Bodies everywhere.
Can you get the ship flying again? I need an update.
Look, do you want me to talk or do you want me to fix the damn ship? You do your job, I'll do mine.
Well, sort of. Medusa got a little overly enthusiastic and wound up destroying the center torso.
Engaging physical attack.
He whiffed on it. Smooth.
No damage detected.
Alright, well, benefit is,
Waiting for
at the
orders.
very least, let's see here, no evasion pips, so we're just going to shoot this little sucker. And it's a locust. I don't really care about keeping it, so I'm fine with nuking it.
Hope we can salvage that.
Not likely. He just cored it completely through. Alright, we have nothing left, so what we're going to do,
Waiting for orders.
and this is me being slightly a dirty cheater who's played this mission before,
Right, Commander.
we're going to stack up in a position that lets us get clean shots
Roger.
at the guys coming in for the next phase.
Move order received.
Because we've still got 2 more guys we're going to have to take out. Grim Sybil, you think you're going to steal my ship, you miserable little scrub? Nobody steals from Grim Sybil. I'm going to carve you like a roasted pig. That's a big mech. Yes, but it's a crap one. Yeah, but it's in terrible condition. Concentrate your fire and you should be able to take it. And he's not wrong. The quick draw is just a terrible mech. It gives up pretty much everything to make it as fast as a medium mech. But it actually winds up carrying fewer weapons and armor than a medium mech, so why? The Shadowhawk is actually a bit more of a threat. Because the Shadowhawk is not hot garbage.
Move into position.
It's actually a pretty solid medium mech. So for now we're going to keep Medusa moving because his best defense is high evasion.
Affirmative.
Now, you do want to be careful about how you position your mechs when you start fighting, because clearly shots coming in from the left side are much more likely to hit the left-hand bits of the mech. Now, take a look.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
All right, for instance, Salamander has taken he's lost his armor over his Oh, is that left or right? Right torso. So what I probably want to do is I want to keep my left side towards these guys. I don't want to face... I don't want to let them see my left-hand side. So what we'll do is we'll twist the mech so the opponent is just in arc. And then we'll make use of our weapons. This way, any incoming fire is going to hit on our left side and is less likely to hit our highly damaged right side that is full of LRM ammunition. So, you know what? I wonder if we can make a precision strike. Oh, 48%? Yeah, I'll take those odds. Alright, structure exposed. I would very much like to get this Shadowhawk. I'd like to make it so that I no longer have this spider and I can just take a Shadowhawk with me. So we're going to go and once again stay over here on the right side of the mech because I want to focus on that right leg to begin with. And yeah, we're going to focus on that leg, which has 47 structure left. So I'm actually going to drop the medium laser out and just use the AC-5 and the SRMs. There we go. Got the leg. Knocked him down. Pilot's injured. Good stuff. As much as I would like to capture that quick draw just because it is better than a lot of what I've got at the moment. I'm only going to be able to generate... I can generate 2. But that's going to put me in the minimum range of the PPC. Yeah, see? Yeah, we're in minimum range of the PPC. So we want to come back... There we go. She's going to be an easy target, but she also hasn't taken very much damage. So we're going to focus on that leg. We're just going to go with that.
Firing on target.
What did she hit? I do kind of wish it would pop up and tell you where she hit. And Sybil's jumping. Oh! Wow. Okay, that is bad.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
Whew. That is better shooting than I've usually seen out of Sybil. Alright, we're going to move. Let's see. That gives us 3. 3. 2. That'll give us 3.
Acknowledged.
Oh yeah, she chewed up his torso. Now here's the problem I'm going to run into. There's a very good chance we're going to core this guy rather than taking the leg out. Yeah, sort of like that. Alright. Whoops. Yeah, let's see. Bad habit. I get into this. I want to move things along quickly, and instead of turning myself the way I should have, I'm squared up on them.
Engaging target.
Oh!
Enemy mech. Critical damage
That
detected.
hit the leg. I'm fairly certain that hit the leg.
Commander.
We're just going to stay still. And yeah, it did. It hit the leg. The leg is down to 30 damage. Oof. Where's this one at? 47. Ooh, okay. Okay, they have a decent amount of structure. So I can risk it. I can risk it. How big do I want to risk it? That is the question. Because the problem is that as soon as you lose a leg, all excess damage gets transferred into the center torso, and the center torso only has 47. So total is 77. I need to make sure that I don't fire more than that. Let's see, that's 8, that's 64. Yeah, that's way too much damage. That is 70. You know, we're going to give it a shot anyways. This is a tiny... If everything hits...
Engaging.
Nope, missed. Oh, that went into the right
Target's
torso.
taking a critical hit.
Yeah, at this point,
Waiting for orders.
I am really
Moving to
toying
position.
with fate here by focusing so heavily on trying to salvage this Shadowhawk while ignoring Sybil. Alright. We did get at least one hit on the leg. but they also got a hit on the center torso. I really cannot use the PPC, because if the PPC hits, it's going to take this leg out, and then it's going to core the center torso. So we absolutely can't use the PPC. So we're going to have to use them in a medium laser. Yeah, we're going to have to use the medium laser and the small laser.
Got it.
Ooh. I don't know where that small laser hit, and that makes me nervous. Oh, man.
Warning. Detecting mech warrior injury.
Oh, that is bad, because that took out my PPC and my LRM launcher, which means my Griffin is now completely disarmed. Figuratively and literally. Mostly literally. Oh, jeez.
Warning. Detecting mech warrior injury.
He got that close. This is... Okay. Well, this just got a little too real. Alright, that Shadowhawk has to die. I may punch with my Griffin since it's... Yeah, I'm going to punch with my Griffin. And everybody else is just going to hose Sybil down.
Locking all weapon systems.
Whoa! Okay, this is not great. Really not great.
Warning. Detecting mech warrior injury.
Oh, this is bad. This is very
Engaging
bad.
physical attack. Enemy mech destroyed.
Waiting for orders.
Alright. Behemoth, you just salvo everything.
Good to go.
Glitch, you don't even move. Just go for it. Yeah, right now she's running hot from all those all that jump jet use got her smoking. Wow, my repair bill on this is going to be brutal.
Ready for orders. Heading out.
Yeah, the repair bill on this is going to be pretty bad. That's 2 PPCs, and LRM-10, and all kinds of other
All weapons.
pieces. Alright, got a leg. You know, if I could salvage that quick draw, even if I don't like it, the money it's worth repaired and sold is pretty high. And I am just going to get him out of here. I do not need him getting killed. So let's get out of here. Clear line of sight and brace up.
Good to go.
And Behemoth, just don't even move. Don't even bother. There we go. Oh, got it. Get your lance to the Argo, Commander. I'm just about done. Okay, so... Yeah, I know the torsos got destroyed, but because it was taken out via legs, I'll still have most of it left for salvage. Unlike my Griffin that is now pretty much walking salvage.
Copy that.
Whew. Yeah, that whole thing went kind of sideways there. I spent way too much time trying to pick that one mech apart to salvage it, and I paid for it. Let that be a lesson. Don't get... The salvage is important. Salvage is really important. But so is actually completing the mission. It's done. I can't believe it. It really worked. The engines are online and I have thrust control. Go now. Celebrate later. Roger that. Hang on, Commander. For the first time in 2 centuries, this beast is going to fly.
Mission successful.
Sort of. Alright, and all objectives complete and was successful, and I got 1.15 million C-bills out of it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to rebuild 2 mechs in a big way, but you know what? I got the money for it. Yeah, that Griffin is walking scrap, and Salamander took 3 hits. He's actually going to be out of combat for quite a while, and Medusa took a hit. What this means is I'm almost certainly going to have to hire another mech warrior, potentially 2. I was going to have to at some point. But yeah, that hurt. Alright, let's take a look here. So right here we got the 2 pieces of the Quick Draw and the Shadow Hawk. The Quick Draw is worth a lot of money, so we're going to take that. And the Shadow Hawk is going to be more useful in the long run. The Jinner is actually a pretty decent light mech if you need a light mech. Oh, I already have 2 pieces of a Commando. Now see, this is one of those... Shadowhawks are pretty common. I'll almost certainly get another shot at Shadowhawk. The Commando, though, even though I have no intention of using the Commando, since you can, I'll be able to salvage this one, put a whole new one together, because this will be my 3rd piece. I can then sell it, and that is worth, I want to say, like 250, 400,000 C-bills. Yeah. Alright, we'll take that. And because of all the salvage we got, we actually wound up with all the mech parts, which is nice. Yeah, small lasers, that's around 2. Yeah, that is actually not bad. That pretty. I mean, sucks if you're one of the pirates that are living around the wreck, but hey, they're pirates. Screw them. Have I mentioned how much I love this cutscene style? Ooh, that ship is beat up. Who is this? Shock and awe. Either he's very tall or she is very short. In exile, high orbit, Episdoe. You've done excellent work, Commander Sun, and you've earned yourself an opportunity to do more. Meet your real client. I don't believe that she needs an introduction. I'm happy to see you again, Salamander. Or should I say, Commander. You've done well for yourself. The old man would be pleased. It must come as a shock to you seeing us here at Episdoe, seeing us at all. I apologize for that, but I had to be sure that you were the mech warrior I remembered before I reached out to you. And now with the Argo on its way to Lyreton for repairs, I know you are everything I remember and more. Aw. I can't believe you're standing here. The entire Reach is convinced that you're dead. She was dead. Lord Madeira, too. I'm sorry, Lady Arano, but the newsfeed ran footage of your dropship getting blown out of the sky. On a loop. For months. Fake news. That wasn't her dropship. The broadcasts of her death were directorate propaganda. Well-crafted lies to keep the masses in line. And with that, Kamea, I'll leave you to your reunion. Best of luck with the negotiations, and keep me appraised of whatever decision you come to. Lady Centrella's face winks off the view screen. The dull blue glow of her hollow projection slowly dies away. Lady Centrella was right about the propaganda, Salamander. My uncle's directorate is run on lies, though in this case they very nearly became true. The directorate's assassins pursued us into the frontier. In the months following the coup, we had more than our fair share of close calls. Eventually, they gave up looking for us, and we've been living in exile ever since. Where have you two been hiding for the past 3 years? As far from the Directorate's base as we could get without leaving the frontier, a miserable little ball of rock called Zathras. It was a nasty, brutish planet full of internecine strife and bloody turmoil. There were power struggles and mad nobles, plagues and zealots and holy wars. So you're saying it's a typical frontier world? More or less. Living on Cormadir, I'd heard stories about the problems that many frontier systems face, but I was detached. I never saw how rough life outside of the Regan Coalition could get. My uncle's coup changed everything in Salamander, including me. You had Centrella send us after the Argo. I'd like to know why. In part, as a test of your abilities, to make sure that the performance on Cormadir wasn't a fluke. Our experience in the coup has taught us to be careful, Commander Son. We couldn't just reach out to you on faith. But the Argo herself is important as well. She isn't just a ship, Salamander. She's a symbol of reclamation and rebirth and a return of better days. You'll see soon for yourself. She was a majestic vessel once, a true product of the Star League. Under Dr. Murad's care, she will be again. Okay, you made it off Cormadir and you found me. Let's talk about why. I imagine you've already guessed. I intend to seek justice for my uncle's crimes. I intend to take my throne back. But I can't do it without you. We have resources, an army drawn from all across the frontier. Perhaps most importantly, we have the patronage of Lady Centrella and the tacit support of her government. That means money, a great deal of money. My family hails from the magistracy. I know that my people don't hold the Regan Coalition in especially high regard, so why are they helping you? Because we're useful. The magistracy sees Kamea's claim to the throne as an asset worth paying for. They want to see the Directorate dealt with, but it wasn't in their interest to do it themselves. They prefer to keep their own hands clean. Pretty typical magistracy behavior, actually. The Wormwood Periphery is a powder keg, Salamander. Tensions between the Turian Conquered and the Federated Suns are high, and my uncle's military posturing could be viewed as provocative by either side. If open conflict between the superpowers were to erupt, it would be difficult for anyone to remain neutral. The magistracy wants to avoid getting dragged into a major war. And your House Centrella's best hope for a clean solution. They fill your war chest, you remove the Directorate from the board, and the Magistracy lets tensions between the Federated Suns and the Turians simmer down on their own. Am I reading the situation correctly, Lady Arano? The part he's leaving out is that the Regan Coalition serves as a nice buffer between the Turians and the Magistracy. Correctly enough, Mr. Oliveira, but understand that this isn't just about diffusing a dangerous situation. For me, taking on the Directorate is personal. It tends to happen when somebody tries to kill you. My uncle betrayed me. The founding council has been reduced to a handful of powerless figureheads. Our very identity has been cut away and discarded. House Espinosa is long overdue for a reckoning, and with your help, I will bring them one. Join me, Salamander, and we will not fail. No, we're mercenaries. Your cause is honorable, Lady Arano. If the price is right, I think we can do business together. The price. Of course, Salamander. Let us discuss your compensation. Pledge yourselves to me, and I'll buy your company's debts, all of them. You'll be free to travel and seek clients as you please, so long as you come to me when I call for you. And on the day I reclaim my throne, your obligation to me will be forgiven, your debts wiped clean. Of course, you will also be paid for every battle you fight at our behest, at a rate that will feel quite generous given the clientele you're accustomed to. Thanks to House Centrella, we have money to burn. I don't like the thought of being at some noble's pawn, but I don't like being in hock to a bunch of loan sharks either. Sounds like a pretty good deal, boss. I'm just saying. No. Money to burn. I like the sound of that. Okay, Lady Arano, we're in. Very good. You've made the right decision, Salamander. You'll see that for yourself soon enough. I'll take my leave of you. I have an army to rally and preparations to make, but it won't be long before I contact you again. And when I do, I'll need you ready. Prepare yourself and your company. Our war is about to begin. Lady Arano just bought all of our debt, Commander. That means no more banks restricting our jump jet access. We can travel to more systems now, and we should still clear the major states. We don't want it to look like we're going to cut and run. Good news, Commander. Once Dr. Marauder and her crew got that wrecked ship safely away, we found most of a Centurion in its cargo hold. It's not equipped for combat yet, but with a little love and attention, I think we can return it to service. That is good because my Griffin is junk.
That mech is ready to fight, Commander.
Yeah, the Centurion is a good solid mech, so that's a nice addition.
Is cleared for fighting.
And there's the Commandos ready to go. But we are going to just straight up... 168,000 C-bills. And we're going to send it to storage for the moment. Alright, Salamander's out of action for pretty much 2 months straight, and Medusa for about 3 weeks. That is pretty brutal. The Griffin. Now see, if the Griffin has taken so much damage that you can't just hit repair, you're actually going to have to go through it and refit it. And this is what... Oh, that is a lot of red. Replace the right arm. Torso, arm. Repair the center torso. And we are still... 16 tons light because we got our butts cored. Oof. Okay. You know what? I'm going to spare you the trouble of going through and watching me repair all these mechs. 38 days. This is going to be a long-term project to get this Griffin back operational. I'm going to spare you guys watching me go through the process of trying to get all these mechs repaired, and I will see you guys next time, where we will take on some more mercenary contracts, and I do believe it's time to start talking about the Star League itself. So, this has been Bogatir. I'll catch you next time.